As more women start acting like Archie, more men are going to have to start acting like Edith. I gotta ask, does anyone have fun anymore and laugh and joke and enjoy each other's company? What's happiness when you have important things to talk about, like politics, leaving the toilet seat up, the direction of the toilet paper comes off the roll, and the all important, you left your dirty clothes on the floor again? Do you remember the good old days when grandmas were sweet and actually baked you cookies? Those days are over. Grandma's full of hostility now. What's happiness when it comes to flicking a couple of pickles off your hamburger? Run, Forrest, run. You can avoid a lifetime of misery and losing half your shit. There are still women in the world that like men, believe it or not. You can have fun, you can laugh, you can joke, you can go do the simplest things and just enjoy your time together. It's amazing how loving a man can be when he's loved and respected. With women acting more like Archie, men have to act more like Edith. It's a good analogy, isn't it? Because today it's like you see such a reversal. It's like I remember as a kid watching Archie Bunker, and I had a father that was a very kind man, very much a gentleman. He always treated my mother with a lot of respect. He wasn't prejudiced. He was a good father and a good example in my life. And I used to watch Archie Bunker, and it's like I would think even as a kid, it's like, oh my God, can there really be anybody this opinionated, this just like you know, he thought he was right about everything. And in today's world, through social media especially, a lot of people have that same feeling. It's like it's not good enough that they share their opinion with you. They have to have you agree and share their opinion with them, or they'll block you, or they'll cancel you, or they'll try to destroy you, or whatever. It's a craziness that's taken over, and it's kind of a role reversal to where men have kind of a lot of men, not all. Some men are still like Archie Bunker, but the majority of men have gotten away from that, domineering, uh, toxic male thing, and become a little more understanding. They understand that even though they're men, they can help around the house. They can do things that used to be considered a woman's job, because it's a shared experience. It's not the woman's job. It's both your jobs. So that's an important thing. But I remember the first time I saw craziness in behavior. For years, I was a professional photographer, and when I first started in photography, I had to do a lot of weddings because that's usually the first kind of work that you do. And I remember doing this one wedding, and I'll never forget it. It was kind of strange. The When I got to the wedding, the bride side, there weren't a lot of people there on the bride side. The bride's family wasn't there, so that was a little strange. And so, I kind of got to fill in for the day. The bride's family didn't really approve of the marriage or whatever. So, whatever. It's not, I was there to take pictures, not get into the politics of what's going on in the family. However, when the wedding was over, the church had this like reception area. It's where all the people, the guests that were at the wedding would file in and congratulate the bride and groom. And I saw through the glass of the church that the bride's father was there. And I guess it looked like he was out doing yard work or something. He had a t-shirt and shorts on. And I guess he just wanted to come congratulate his daughter, give her a kiss or something. So he went around to this big, well, it's not big, but a good sized reception room where all the guests were and the bride and the groom. And he worked his way up to the bride, just wanted to congratulate her, give her a kiss. Well, the bride or the groom's mother saw him, and you always, it's unfortunate that people can't control themselves. It's like once words come out of your mouth, especially in a group of people, you can't ever get them back. So, anyways, this mother of the groom saw the bride's father, and she said, "Well, you think my son isn't good enough for your daughter? Let me tell you about your daughter." And she went through this whole dissertation in front of every guest at the wedding to the father. And I was thinking, what kind of lowbrow person and human being would do something like this? On a girl's wedding day, to publicly announce every embarrassing moment she's ever had in front of every person she knows or hopes to know. And it's like, what kind of person, how do you justify that in your own mind? That kind of rottenness that it would take to do something like that. And now, 30 years later, it's commonplace. I mean, you go into a market and you see somebody just lose shit with their spouse and just rake them over the coals and scream at them for, or her. I mean, it goes both ways. And people don't try to understand and have patience with other people. They get furious and they just like blurt out these horrific things. And I don't understand why. And that's the same way with dating. I talked about in one of the videos I did about why I date, outside the country. And I love going to Thailand and dating Thai women. And I was mentioning that the last date I had here in America was 2 years ago. And very nice. I mean, being nice, being the kind of person I hope to be. She was a very nice lady, but a little confusing. When we met, and started our date, she was talking at least for the first hour about her political views and how she's a real feminist and she believes in these certain things, in this certain type of political system and these political people. And I heard all about it. And I mean, I taught to be polite. I listened, and I chimed in a little bit. And, we had a decent conversation for what it was. But then after an hour of telling me how she didn't like certain politicians because she was a feminist and how she didn't like certain things because she was such a feminist, then she proceeded, because she thought the date was going well, then she proceeded to ask me many times and really explain her feelings on chivalry, and that if we go out on a second date, I'm going to bring her flowers and we're going to go to a very elegant restaurant, right? Because she liked being wined and dined and all the things that come with chivalry. And so it's like a feminist who likes chivalry. Huh. That's kind of like a man saying, I believe in the feminist ways. Woman needs to go out and earn, her half of the money, but she still needs to come home and, make sure the dinner's on the table, kind of thing. It's just strangeness. And you can't really cherry pick what you believe in your, I mean, you can, it's fine, I guess. But it's odd in that, you want to be a feminist, but at the same time, you want men to shower you with fine dinners, and of course, paying for them, not paying half, as a feminist would. You want flowers, you want to be gifts and everything else. And I mean, it's just an oddity. I won't say there's anything wrong with it. It just struck me as odd. Some of the other things that, I see, it's just in America. Last time I was in Thailand, the hotel I was in was on the second floor. It had a nice balcony, and it kind of overlooked. You could see the ocean in the distance, but there was, underneath the balcony, there was like an alleyway, and the alleyway had kind of merged with a huge parking lot. So it was an area, instead of walking down one of the little alleyways to where you might get hit by a car, because people do drive kind of crazy in Thailand. a lot of people use this as a pedestrian walking because it was nice and wide. They could walk in the parking lot because it wasn't used basically and stay off the road. So all kinds of people walking up and down all times of day, especially in the morning. And in the morning, I would go out and sit on the balcony after I woke up, and I'd, get a nice cup of coffee, have a cigar, and I'd sit there. And just the way I am, I try to treat people the way I want to be treated. I try to, make people smile, make people happier after they meet me than before they met me. So when I was sitting on the balcony, I started, as people go, hi, how are you? Good morning. And I would say some comment, usually good morning, to the people walking by. And I started noticing it's like strange because in Thailand, you obviously have Thai people that live there, but then you have a lot of people from Europe, from America, Australia, India, different places. And so, as I would say good morning to various people, if they were Thai, and I mean, some of the people might have been Korean or Chinese, but most of them probably were Thai on their way to work this morning. If I say good morning, they would look, and I was on the second floor, so they had to kind of look for where I was, kind of thing. They'd look, and then they'd see me, and they'd get a smile on their face, say good morning, and wave. And then I would come across a person from the UK or America or Australia, and I'd say good morning, and they would either get like a growling look on their face and look up like who the hell's talking to me, or they would just ignore it and walk on. And I did it. That encouraged me to even do it more because I wanted to see and like do the statistics of percentage wise how many Thai people said good morning or some response back or a smile of some sort of positive acknowledgement as opposed to people, Western people. And it was amazing. I mean, hardly, I think a total of 2 Western people actually responded in a positive way and said good morning back. I think of all the Thai people that I said good morning to, there were 3 that didn't respond. They just acted, and they were like women being single. You're probably embarrassed a man saying good morning because they didn't have a scowl on their face. It wasn't like you're bothering me kind of thing. They kind of looked a little bit shy, to where they didn't know if I was gonna ask on a date or something. I don't know, but it's amazing that so many times the more things we get, that's like in America, we have so many benefits. And I mean, everybody complains all the time, but it's like, okay, find something better. And they can't, of course. It's like we live in an amazing country. We have so many advantages and abilities to get ahead and abilities to achieve great things in life. And it seems like the more we get, the more, I don't know, unbearable we become to live with. And it's like the dating situation right now in the West. And it's not a man or a woman thing. A lot of people get on you hear the women, like on The View, it's all men's fault. You hear all kinds of men on YouTube saying, oh, it's those women, they're not this or that anymore. But it's both. I mean, men really are just kind of tired of women and the way they are. Women have been tired of men for quite a while now, but it's sad because when you meet somebody who has a liking for you because they're a woman, you're a man, and you have fun with them. I don't care if it's in Thailand or America, Australia, the UK. When somebody allows themselves to be nice, to care, and it allows the other person to do the same, and it's a beautiful thing what can happen. And unfortunately, so many people have just shut themselves off from dating and from caring about the opposite sex. And so, that's one of the main reasons why I go. This last year I went twice for a month each time. I'll probably do the same this year or more. And I wouldn't even mind living in Thailand and coming back, because my sons are here, so I'll always come back, and America will always be home. But I think more and more as time goes on, also more time in Thailand, just because it is, a lot of people talk about the gold digging thing and this problem and that problem, but at the basic level, women still like men still like women, and you can still go out on a date and have fun, just laugh and joke and talk about silly, goofy things that you feel like you're on a date when you were back in college, as opposed to having a big controversy about who did you vote for and what are your political affiliations and did you go to this protest or that protest. That's just craziness. I don't. Long time ago, my father told me that religion and politics have no place in polite conversation. And it's so true, but people have just gotten, and it's not only having a conversation, but in the social media world we live in, we have that, thing to where it used to be people would have conversations and kind of get wiser. They would get a little bit of enlightenment of other people's opinions and other people's point of view. And they would learn and you kind of grow. It doesn't happen in today's world because everyone thinks they're so damn right. It's like if you don't agree with them, you're wrong. Not only are you wrong, I'm going to block you, cancel you, whatever. I never thought I would live in a time to where understanding and kindness would be looked at as weakness in people, and hostility and anger and meanness would be looked at as strength. It's a strange time that we live in, but there's still hope. So you have a good afternoon. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe.